All right, guys, welcome to the Higher Level Live. I've got Benzack Cooper in the studio with me.
What's going on?
I love it. So you flew in this morning. Thank you, by the way.
Appreciate you as well.
You know, how long have you been actively writing here at Family First Life?
This is my second month active.
This is your second month. So we're in February. So January, you helped over 35 families, I'd say. Yeah?
Yeah, without a doubt.
And the cool thing is people, there's more than one way to skin a cat. When I ran, I was a lead junkie. Like, I just enjoyed calling them real short, setting the appointments, go. People always ask me if I got referrals, and I always said, no, I should get better at that. So we were talking a little bit before this. You utilize leads, correct?
Correct.
So when you're done helping a family, what do you do?
You know how they say love the one you with?
Yeah.
That's exactly what I do, and I make sure I get the people that they love too.
Okay.
Each and every time. So anytime I talk, I normally have a portfolio with me.
Okay.
So when they're telling me about the kids and grandkids, I'm writing all that stuff down. So that way, when I'm ready at the end, I'm hitting them with the exact same names.
Okay.
Just so I can make sure I get it back to them and talk to them about what they have going on.
And have you always done it that way?
Always done it that way. Even with my old practice company, that's how I was taught, and that's how I kind of just perfected my my game.
Sure. And for me, I'm going like, again, that's why I say I was terrible at it. But I can't imagine how much more profitable I would have been early if I would have done, even if you get, we're running 30 appointments a week, even if 6 of them are referrals. I mean, to me, setting 6 appointments takes 40 leads. If you're calling internet leads, maybe 30. So you live in Missouri, St. Louis?
Correct.
Okay. And you grew up there?
Yep, grew up in St. Louis.
And what areas do you run?
I run everything but St. Louis.
Okay.
Every place in Missouri except St. Louis. I do run in St. Louis from time to time. I'm not going to lie.
Sure.
But I prefer the areas around it.
Surrounding areas. And I can't say, Ari, like I grew up in Baltimore. I ran in Baltimore. But Baltimore is like pretty big. So it seems like the further you get away from the middle of the city, the better it is. Is it the same way it works in St. Louis as well?
Yep.
Okay.
It is.
So some of the stuff, and that's the thing, people go, you run in Baltimore? I'm like, yeah. Like, first of all, it's Baltimore. Like St. Louis, it's just St. Louis. It's a city. If you mind your own business and treat people with respect, you're usually good.
Right.
But what I found in Baltimore, and you can tell me if it's the same way where you're at, is a lot of folks were getting taken advantage of.
Yeah, getting taken advantage of, lied to.
Yes.
It's more so a headache explaining it over and over to them, really, than just trying to help them out.
Right.
Help them and the families.
And keeping track of all the lives you spread.
Yeah. But I do collect the most referrals in St. Louis.
Okay.
Ironically enough.
Well, you say, I always say to people, like, and I've lived all over. I've lived where people are poor. I've lived where people make money. I've lived where people make a lot of money.
Right.
The people that don't make much tend to believe in life insurance a bit more, right? I mean, is that what you find?
Yeah, that's exactly what it is.
Yeah.
They tend to believe a lot more. They tend to, once they get it and get something good, they want to help their family do the same because everybody's paid for a funeral. Nobody wants to keep going through that.
That's right. And they don't have extra. Yep. And that's our clientele, by the way. Like, those are the people that fill out the forms, ask us for help, that want somebody that's just going to do the right things and help them. That's all it is. So, dude, I love it. And you killed it your first month, which is exciting for us. So we get tons of these questions in, and we're going to try and answer as many as we can. You do face-to-face?
I do face-to-face and I do virtual.
Okay.
Via Zoom, FaceTime, whichever they prefer.
Okay, so is there a different phone script or script altogether for face-to-face versus telesales?
No, I use the exact same one.
Okay.
When I'm flipping them over to telesales, typically if they want to do it, if they don't want nobody to come to the house, then what I'll do is just ask have they heard about Zoom.
Okay.
Do they have an iPhone, Android, whatever they have, and I try to flip them over so they can see my face.
Okay.
So as soon as I do that, then I could either help them get on Zoom or they can see me through FaceTime, Duo, Google Duo. So that way they're more comfortable. So that way when I set the appointment, they can say, hey, they tell their spouse that they're actually having an appointment with Benzack. Not
Right.
It's an insurance guy that's going to call us at 5.
No doubt.
So that way it helps with them being there.
Sure. Well, it helps your show ratio. Okay. So when you when did you start doing both? When did you introduce the telesales or the virtual stuff to your bag of goods?
So before I came here, I was doing both the exact same way. Then I kind of just went straight to telesales.
Okay.
So my transition coming over to Family First, once I actually got to it, it was a no-brainer. It was easy. I
Okay.
went straight to both.
And how about the leads? Same thing?
Yep, leads exact same thing. No matter what's being ran, mortgage, final expense, I'm always going to do the same thing.
Okay. All right.
Mortgage is a lot easier to run telesales, though, from what I've seen.
Okay. And listen, it's funny because we've got an army of people doing telesales, and they're like, mortgage is hard. And it's crazy how just perspective for people is so different. When I came in the business, the mortgage industry crashed. So the company I started with, everybody was running just mortgage. Well, when I got there was hardly no mortgage. I had to run final expense.
Right.
And then mortgages start to come back. And so I learned through final expense and then master mortgage. But I still think, like, I hear people go, well, just do this. And I think it's a terrible idea because you first of all, mortgage, the rates are stupid low right now. They're going to go up, which means the requests or the amount of people asking for help is going to go down. What do you think about that? If I'm a new agent, Benzack, how would you kind of get me moving?
So what I would do is I would say get a couple different leads.
Okay.
Because you always want to make sure you fluff your schedule with whatever you can. So if I'm buying leads up front, I'm going to buy some mortgage leads and some final expense leads. Then I'm going to collect my referrals. And then next time my book is going to be a heck of a lot easier because now
right.
referrals in there already. And when I collect referrals, I typically have that client call the people for me.
While you're there or while you're on the phone.
Exactly.
Okay.
So if I'm right there face to face, they call them, I take the phone. We book the appointment right there.
Okay.
If they're available, I go over there right now.
Wow.
So that's how it kind of works from there. But it just makes the schedule a lot it fluffs the schedule up so that way you don't have to sit in there and dial all day.
Right. No doubt. No doubt. Because that's the thing, for me, the most important things we do is schedule, leads, and phone script. If you can master those 3 things, everything else gets pretty simple. Was it uncomfortable when you started doing that? Like, if you grabbed my phone, I would absolutely give it to you because you would step on me. But when you first did that, did you have the confidence to I can see, because you were even talking about you were reaching right. For my phone.
So I do. When I first started, I didn't. I felt like I was going to intimidate people.
Right.
Because that's how it was when I first went to homes. It was like I had people slamming the door, closing the curtains.
Right.
I was like, okay, I got to find a way to get over this.
Sure.
So believe it or not, for me, somebody told me I need to wear glasses.
Okay.
So I had the fake glasses going, and it just helped me. Believe it or not.
That's funny.
Letting me in the home, talking to me more. Hello, educated sir.
Yeah.
It actually worked. So
sure.
From there, it was game on. It didn't matter.
Isn't it crazy how impressions are everything?
Yep.
Somebody was saying, I think it was Andrew. Was it Andrew at a conference? He was saying, like, he would get out of the car, like, miserable. Mm-hmm. And he'd walk up and people would be doing the same thing. And Paul, who hired Andrew, was training, was like, dude, when I get out of the car, I'm smiling.
Yep.
Like, the first thing they see if they're looking out the window is my smiling face, which is more welcoming. That makes a lot of sense. Okay. So do you have what's your goals for 2020? We're not going over your paid numbers, but is there certain levels you want to get to? You know what Hall of Fame is?
Yeah. To be honest, I plan on hitting the Hall of Fame at least by August. That's my goal.
Okay, I love that.
And I'm trying to work full time, but January, the numbers I didn't work full time. I pretty much worked 3 days a week.
Okay, and that's absolutely possible because what you did in January shouldn't take more than that
right.
If you're really working.
Yep.
Now, when you're working, are you working for a couple hours, taking an hour break, or are you just grinding straight through, get it done?
So I'm just grinding straight through. So like Mondays, I know it's typically a dial day. I'll try to dial for on the spots because I know Tuesday I got my daughter's gymnastics.
Okay.
And I got to be there even though they don't do anything.
How old's your daughter?
2.
Oh, yeah.
They don't do anything at all. But yeah, then Wednesday, I typically let my lady do her thing, whatever she wants to do. She's a stay-at-home mom.
Right.
So then Thursday, Friday, I typically get to it.
Okay.
And I'm working that whole day. They know.
Gotcha.
You're not going to see me till later on.
So this might be a good question. So you know how when newer agents are kind of intimidated by everything or just feel they just don't know, right? So they're uncomfortable. So the question is, other than Mutual of Omaha and AIG, name insurance companies who accept e-apps, oh, this is simple, with e-signatures without the agent and prospect being in the same state. So like virtual sales, if you're going to sell somebody in Maryland and you're in St. Louis or Missouri, how would you do, what companies other than AIG and Mutual of Omaha, who does that?
I'm Americo.
Okay.
Americo, Transamerica. If you do Transamerica, you do have to fill out a form, but it's not really hard.
Okay.
Aetna, you definitely have to be in the same state.
You do with Aetna?
Yep, when you do an application. But, I would go with Americo first.
Okay.
If not Mutual or AIG.
Okay, perfect. And we try to lead with America anyway. What about, do you know about Prosperity?
Yeah, I've only written one app with Prosperity. But I hear Prosperity is good too, but I just know that I stick with Americo Mutual, my main one.
That's the easiest way to do it. When we started here, we had one carrier. And it's like we have a bunch that we offer here, and people get, I think, hung up on trying to learn everything and every product. All right, so let's see. How do you nail down how to nail down the e-app on the telephone versus booking appointments in the home? Okay, so if you're going to do a telesale, how do you so if you're calling me and I'm a lead and you want to do me virtually, like, are you calling me to do it right this second, or are you setting me up for later on down the road?
So typically I'm trying to do it that second.
Okay.
If they cannot do it that second, then I will set the appointment. But I want to make sure you see me and we talk first.
Okay.
So that way my show ratio is a lot better because that's what it's all about.
You sure?
Virtual, when you're running virtual, your show ratio can be terrible.
Right.
So if they see you and they go over with you, then, you at least know that your show ratio will be a little bit better.
Absolutely. Okay, so then let me take it a step further. So when you're in a home and you've went through everything, identified the problem, gave them a solution, and you're moving forward, when they're signing the app, you're there to kind of address their concerns and you can push them along, right?
Yep.
How do you do that? How do you button down or tie down or nail down, this question is, nail down the e-app when you're over the phone as opposed to face-to-face?
So I do the same thing with it all comes down to solidifying.
Okay.
So when you're solidifying the actual sale or walking them through it, if they're kind of iffy, then I won't do it. I'll stop. So sometimes you got to take it away from them before you give it back to them.
Okay.
And what I mean by that is letting them know, like, so Frank, you do understand what we're doing today, right?
Yes.
Now you do know that this is one of the most important bills that you've just now done, right?
Yeah.
Okay, perfect. So if let's just say you get a flat tire tomorrow, Christmas comes around, it's not going to be the first thing you cancel, right?
No.
Because if it's taking food off the table for you, I won't let you do it at all.
Okay.
So I just reassure that I'm there to help them.
Sure. You're underselling it. You're making sure this is affordable.
Yep.
Essentially. Now, so let's just go, well, Benzack, this is, I'm a little nervous about this payment.
You're a little nervous about this payment?
I am.
Okay, is this something that's going to take food off the table?
I would hope not, but I'm not 100% sure.
Okay, so what we will do is let's bring it down and then put it to something that is comfortable. So
okay.
If this $85 a month isn't comfortable, let's try to make it right around 50 because I know you can swing that, right?
Yeah, 50 should be good.
Okay, perfect. The deal behind this is you want to make the most money you can, but you want to have good, clean business.
Right.
Because there's no point in going for that extra $35 if it's going to cancel.
Absolutely. And that's a big deal that I don't know if we talk about enough. We're pushing, and I think you hear folks talk about their average annual premiums and all that stuff, and then you get agents going, I want mine to be that. And they think it's a push for price, and it's not. Like, it's value. When you're selling, and we were talking about this earlier, when you're selling mortgage and final expense, there's different value to mortgage. And to be quite honest, people see that value a little bit more because it has to relate to their home, if they get sick while they're living, and final expense relates to when you're dead. I'm not saying they're both not equally important, but I can understand how somebody could see more value in one than the other, right?
Correct.
All right. So if I am buying leads for telesales, how many leads would I need to fill an entire day, would you say?
I would say depending on what kind of leads you're buying, but I'm not going to buy anything under 100 leads if I know I'm going to be running.
Okay.
Because, I mean, let the numbers work for you.
Sure.
About 10 leads, you're probably going to book 2 or 3 people.
Okay. It makes sense to me. I have 500. Okay. So this is a brand new agent. I have $500 ready to buy leads. What's next?
Get out there and get uncomfortable.
Okay.
That's the only thing I'm going to tell you is go out there, get the leads, and get to it.
Ain't no doubt.
If you know what to do and you got $500, that's plenty enough to get you some age mortgage, mix in some final expense with it. You can have plenty of leads for $500.
Yeah, that's what I always say is get a mix.
Yep.
Get all of them because certain leads in certain areas may work different for certain people. So I always tell people get a mix of internet, Facebook, age mortgage, age final expense. And then pick the one that you like or have the most success with, but try them all, right? Yep. And have a good mindset. Having the right type of expectations is huge with leads. You're not expecting, when you're calling age stuff, you're not expecting to set 100%, right?
Yep.
And I think that helps. So you're in St. Louis. You have an office.
Mm-hmm.
Are you looking to build a team here and help other agents?
Yeah, for sure.
Okay.
I'm looking to help agents wherever. I'm an open book. People have questions, they can contact me, reach out to me. I mean, it's whatever that they want.
You're real chill, too. I like that.
I'm very chill.
I see that. So if I wanted to come work with you, Benzack, how would I get a hold of you? Social media, phone number, all that good stuff.
Social media, I would say best thing to do is contact me. I'm on the phone. My number is 314-503-3979. Text, calls, whatever.
Okay.
But social media, I mean, you can find me. It's only going to be one Benzack.
That's right.
That's for sure. You're not going to find many of those.
And is it Benzack?
Yep, Benzack.
Benzack Cooper.
Same on Instagram and Facebook.
Live in the flesh. Guys, if y'all want to work with somebody that really gets it, and again, between the buying leads, having a good lead flow, and then referrals, to me, it's a no-brainer. And again, I wish I would have had somebody that showed me that way in the beginning. And you know how we are as agents. Once we kind of start doing something, it's hard to change. And that's not saying it's right. I'm just saying this is how we are. I would have wished somebody would have taught me that way because it would have been a lot easier, I would imagine, from the beginning to be more successful. So if y'all want to work with somebody that gets it, that helps tons of families every week, reach out to Benzack. He'd be more than happy to help you. Dude, we're glad to have you in the studio. I appreciate you coming in, man.
For sure. Yeah, I'm happy to be here for sure.
No doubt. Until next time, guys, make it a big week.